This is KGW News at Sunrise.
One of our employees on his way into our central kitchen was held up at gunpoint.
That's the founder of Salt and Straw talking about the issues they face as a business operating in Portland's Central East Side. The city is responding with a 90-day reset plan that involves removing the homeless camps that are all over that part of Portland.
So after we get cleared, what are we supposed to do after that happens?
We'll have more on those homeless sweeps from people living on the streets there in just a moment.
And Highway 30 finally back open for daytime travel after a landslide late last month. What you need to look out for still, though, if you're headed to the coast.
Here's a little something we're looking at this morning on the Sunrise Show. The holiday lights at the Starkwood neighborhood in Southeast Portland. This is right around Southeast 111th and Stark Streets. And yes, the homes all lit up for us this morning. And typically, this time of the day, they would have the lights off. Maybe save a little energy.
Yeah, man, they're really pulling some strings for us.
Yeah, they said, all right, if you're coming out, we'll get the lights back on for you. So very cool to see. We're going to have more on this 60-year tradition in Southeast Portland coming up a little bit later on the show.
Hey, happy Monday morning. We are back here with you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for waking up. Today, Brenda is out, of course, Rod Hill too, but Daisy.
I'm here.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for waking up.
Yeah, is it a busy morning in the Weather Center or a slow morning in the Weather Center?
It's kind of a slow morning for the most part. We're not seeing super exciting activity. I know a lot of people really want to see more of that rain and mountain snow. We might be getting a little bit of it, but not as much, like I said, as people would like. But first off, this is what we're seeing currently right now in the Portland metro area. We're holding 40 degrees at the moment. Again, pretty calm winds for the most part. Now, these are our current temperatures for our area. We're basically just seeing those upper 30s and lower 40s for the most part. 37 degrees for both Forest Grove and Hillsborough as well. More of a widespread setup if you want to take a really quick look. We're seeing below freezing temperatures or right at that freezing line for Hood River, 32 degrees. And again, those higher elevations saw so much of that snow, inches upon inches upon inches, and more could potentially be on the way. I'll talk about that in my full forecast, but this is your day at a glance. We're expecting to just really flirt with those mid to lower 40s for the most part. Fog for your morning commute, and also expect cloudy conditions.
All right, more Daisy coming up here in a few minutes, but right now we want to get to our top story this morning. The City of Portland's 90-day reset plan for the Central East Side Business District is underway. We know city crews are clearing out a lot of homeless camps there, and the city is also stepping up police patrols.
Yeah, Blair Best talked to people living on the streets there who say they aren't being offered any help once they're forced to leave.
Forever. It was like, I don't know, way too long.
That's how Kyle describes the past 2 years he's been living on Portland streets. Most recently, fighting to stay warm here on the corner of Southeast 6th Ave and Oak.
A little fire or like burn hand sanitizer or like alcohol or like propane.
The fire department has responded to his fires 4 times in the last week.
Yeah, they know me pretty well, I guess. I don't know.
This area also the latest target for city crews clearing homeless camps. It's all part of the mayor's Central East Side 90-day reset plan to clean up the neighborhood and increase police patrols after dozens of business owners called on the mayor for help about 2 weeks ago, citing safety concerns.
One of our employees on his way into our central kitchen was held up at gunpoint.
Like everyone in this room, we deal daily with feces, human, on our shoes. We deal with break-ins. We deal with assaults.
Mayor Wheeler promised them results.
Not just in terms of the data, but I want it to pass the C test. If you don't see it, it doesn't matter. And so my expectation is that you will.
Another one of his reset plans launched last March in Old Town, which saw temporary results and got 87 people into shelters. Across the river, Kyle's camp is now getting the brunt of this plan. He was swept twice this weekend and has until 8 a.m. Monday to move again.
It kind of sucks. It's like kind of depressing as hell. I don't know. When you got like nowhere to go.
The city clears the camps in an effort to remove all of the tents and trash covering the sidewalks. Yet for those living in those tents, that's their home. And for some homeless people out here in the Central East Side, they say the city isn't helping them get off the streets. When they sweep you, do they offer you any sort of services?
No. They give me $5. That's about it.
According to city data, last week they assessed 500 camps and removed 50 of them. They only offered shelter referrals to 42 people. 33 accepted and 28 actually spent the night in the shelter. So going off of this data, not everyone is being offered a safe place to go. What will it take for you to get off the streets? What is it that you need?
An ID and like somebody that cares, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I just think that they look down upon people who are poor.
Alex and his friend Zach share this corner of Southeast Grand Ave and Oak. They've tasked themselves with watching out for the neighborhood, saying they've stopped people from breaking into nearby businesses.
I just try to make a bigger conscious effort to keep my area clean and my surrounding area and my street cleaner.
He sees the mayor's reset plan as a ticking time bomb, leaving him in fear of his site being removed, one he spent $500 making.
So after we get cleared, what are we supposed to do after that happens?
He is now just waiting for the day he can afford a place of his own.
I have a job. I work at Plaid Pantry. I work graveyard at Plaid Pantry 5 days a week. It's still not enough to pay for something. Like I said, I can either have clothes and food in my gut and live out here, or I can go live somewhere and have a roof over my head and have no clothes and no food in my gut. I can't afford to have both.
Another meeting on this 90-day reset plan is scheduled for Tuesday, and this one is not open to the public. In Central East Side, Blair Best, KGW News.
At least one person is in the hospital this morning after a shooting last night in Southeast Portland. Police say there were several people hurt, but they don't know the extent of those injuries. Investigators say they got a call about a shooting at around 6:45 last night. They say at least 30 units were on scene there for about an hour, and the crisis negotiation team was also on hand to assist. In their last update, Portland police say they still don't have any suspects in custody.
Now to a traffic update. Highway 35 near Government Camp is back open this morning. It was shut down in both directions for a couple of hours yesterday afternoon around 12:30 before it reopened. ODOT says multiple cars spun out because of icy conditions. You can see the backup there and all that snow and ice on the roadway. Here's a look at Highway 26. This is where cars were actually stuck in traffic because of what happened on Highway 35. ODOT says no one was hurt, but crews did have to help get 3 cars right back onto the highway. Meanwhile, Highway 30 reopening to daytime travelers today for the first time in nearly 2 weeks. The road shut down so crews could clean up after a landslide. The closure was about 20 miles east of Astoria. ODOT has had one lane open at night from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. for the past week while flaggers waved drivers through. Now, ODOT says it'll be opening one lane both directions starting this morning. But if you plan to travel that way, still expect delays because crews will be in the area.
All right, time to check back in with Daisy Caballero filling in for Rod Hill this morning. So the weekend began with, I was at that event at Pioneer Courthouse Square. There was a caroling competition pouring on Friday night.
Oof.
Woke up Saturday, we had a toy drive collection event. Pouring at times during that.
Amazing.
Things a little bit more calm this morning, though.
A lot more calmer. I actually did just check our live cameras, and we're actually getting some activity along the coast, seeing a little bit of some drizzle as we're looking near Newport, or at Newport, excuse me, 51 degrees. They're seeing calm winds. So they're probably the only ones that are seeing really any activity for the most part. And we can all thank this low pressure system that's really bringing in a lot of rain and mountain snow into those higher elevations for much of Northern California, Central California as well. And again, we are actually seeing the tail end. If you see, it's a counterclockwise type of deal. And again, we're just seeing the tail end. And what we're seeing here, again, not a whole ton, but the coast is mostly seeing the bulk of the action for the moment. So a little bit later into our morning, we can expect to see some morning fog, and that will probably last until the early afternoon hours. After that, we'll mainly just be sticking with those cloud. The sun might be peeking around a little bit. More of the sun will be a little bit more, visible as we're looking into Tuesday morning and especially into the afternoon hours as well. So what else can we talk about? I want to show you guys a look right now, a live look in Timberline, 22 degrees. They saw a lot of fresh snowpack More is actually on the way. This is a look all the way into Wednesday morning, excuse me, all the way into next Monday as we're kicking off next work week. A little bit closer to 5 inches of snow near the Mount Hood area. More of those current temperatures right now, 30s and 40s again for the most part. Not quite seeing any 20s, 32 degrees. Below freezing temperatures for the Hood River area. Other highs for today, 45 for McMinnville, Corvallis, a little bit cooler as we're looking at 44, Cascades. We are seeing 25 degrees for Timberline. So if you're going to be heading up to those mountains and foothills, it is going to be a pretty awesome day to, again, ski and snowboard as well. This is your 7-day forecast.